This is the pneumatics control module, and this is what controls all of the pneumatic switches, solenoids, compressors, and actuators on an FRC robot. Alright, so this is a quick tutorial on how to wire the pneumatics control module. So these two red and black plugs that say V in, these Mueller plugs, are where the pneumatics control module gets power from. So my recommendation is to get two red and black wires and have take Mueller ferrules and crimp them onto the ends. So I'll just quickly show you how to do that. This is a Mueller ferrule. You just stick the wire in. Take the appropriate crimper and crush the metal bit. I find it's useful to grab a small screwdriver and push these pins in to attach the Mueller connections, like such. And then these two wires are going to connect on a control system to the power distribution module. If you can see, there's a little bit of lettering here that says PCM, and that stands for pneumatics control module. So it's connected to a 12-volt circuit on the power distribution panel, and it has a 20 amp fuse right here. The maximum current for this is 20 amps. So connecting the red and black there will power the pneumatics control module. Now, the other things you should know about on the pneumatics control module are the CAN bus is meant to be wired in and out of the pneumatics control module with yellow and green wires there. If you have a compressor, that will be a 12-volt output to power the compressor with red and black wires into the Mueller ports. And if you have a pressure gauge that you want to read in the code, the pressure gauge should be connected with these two plugs here. These plugs numbered 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 are for solenoids, these kind of things. So you'll take the red and black wires on the end of a solenoid and attach them in there. That's all. So this is a pneumatic solenoid, and it essentially acts as a air pressure switch, allowing air pressure to flow from one tube to another when it's switched on. So just to give you some detail, there are 3 plugs on one side of the solenoid and 2 plugs on the other, all of which you can put pneumatic tubing into so that you can have flow between the tubes. And these plugs are labeled 4, 2, 5, 1, and 3. And there's a little diagram on the solenoid that sort of explains how the airflow works. But I will explain the rest of that now. So when the solenoid is off and it doesn't have any power going through these wires, there's flow between the 2 bottom plugs that you saw and 2 of the top plugs just on one side, and the other plug on the top is unconnected. When the pneumatics control module sends an electrical signal to the solenoid to turn on, it switches those 2 pathways so that the 2 bottom plugs are now connected to the other 2 top plugs, and air can flow between them. And the remaining top plug has no connection. So you can imagine that you might want to actuate a piston using one of these. You could connect the bottom plug on one side to the back of the piston, and the bottom plug on the other side to the front of the piston. And if you connected the center plug to an air tank or some sort of pressure, When the switch was on, pressure would flow into one side of the piston, and it would flow out into the air through the solenoid on the other side of the piston, so the piston would extend. And when the switch was off, the same pressure connected to the top center plug would flow to the other side of the piston, and the original side of the piston that was pressurized would now be able to have its air escape into the space around it. So it would retract the piston. So that's how a solenoid works, and that's one of the most common uses for it.